It's showing me the microphone. It's showing that it's on. Can you hear me? Let me know. I always have the volume turned down, so I never hear it. Okay, all right. I can hear it now. Can you hear me? Let me know in the comments, Mindy. Thank you so much for letting me know. I don't know what that was. But I can hear it up here, so I think you can hear it out there. All right. So, all right, let's see. All right, so did I deep breathing? Oh, we're doing journaling. Okay. So again, if you need the practices, put practices in the comments, and I will send you a link to get the practices, the things that you can do for yourself, all by yourself, that will start to calm you, regulate you, get you to a place where you actually are able to heal and you're not overwhelmed with all the pain and the feelings. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mindy. I appreciate you, girl. I wouldn't even have known. All right. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that one. Okay, I can hear now. All right. Okay. So when you're doing your journaling, that's what we need to talk about. When you're doing your journaling, I want you to do your date, your time, and your level of anxiety. Do those things every time you journal. I want you to do the date and time when you first start off, because we're going to start off with just in the daytime when you first wake up and at night before you go to bed. But any other time during the day, if something pops up, go ahead and put it in your journal, date and time, a sentence or two about what's going on inside your head. If you're feeling troubled, if you're stressed out, if all of a sudden you want to cry, write it down. So then later on, you can come back and you can piece that together. You can see like 9:26 p.m. every Thursday, I'm feeling teary. I feel like I'm going to cry. What is going on at that date and time that is making me feel like that? You can uncover what the triggers are if you are doing that on a consistent basis. Okay. And then your level of anxiety. We've got to have a fence around these feelings. These feelings are huge. These feelings feel like they could jump out of you and stomp you, but they can't. These feelings can only get as big as you are. So you are a 10, okay? Your entire body filled up with these emotions, that's a 10, okay? And then there's a 0, which is no feelings. Everything is beautiful. All is right with the world, okay? If it's a 0, write that down in your journal. You need to know that you've had good days, things are going well, you feel good inside, the emotions are not taking you over. Okay, you need to be able to remember that, because your body and your brain on trauma will tell you that nothing is ever good. You never have any good days. If you are writing down that you had good days, you can call your brain a liar. You can tell your brain, nope, I don't believe you. That is not true. I know for a fact that I had good days. I can flip through my journal and I can tell you what days were good days. Okay. Then a 10 is an absolute loss of control. 10 is I'm going to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. That is a 10. Okay. If you are at a 10, you are not in control of yourself enough to use a pen and paper. You are not sitting at your journal writing things down. You are not doing that. You are probably screaming. You may be throwing things. You may have the police called on you. That is a 10. A 10 is I can't control myself at all. And my behavior has just completely spiraled out. I don't have control over it anymore. Okay. If you can realize you're at a 10, you can reel it back just a little bit to like a 9 and get a little bit more in control of your feelings, chances are the police won't be called on you. Your neighbors won't be losing their minds. So it's up to you. You can be at a 10 if you want to. I understand the need and the feeling to be at a 10, but if you can recognize you're at a 10, chances are you can calm yourself down from a 10. Okay. All right. So we need to know that. And then before you journal and then after you journal, write down the number. So your level of anxiety beforehand may be a 7. Okay. You're going to write for about 5 minutes and you're going to notice that it's come down. It might be a 6, it might be a 5, but you are showing yourself a concrete thing you can do right in the moment. What, no matter how high up you are, if you are capable of holding pen to paper, you can do something that is going to make you feel better, going to let you deal with this stress a little bit better. So you can prove to yourself that you are helping yourself if you do your journaling. do your journaling. Okay. All right. You saying you can still only kind of hear? I'm like, it's weird because I can hear on my computer. Yeah, I can hear myself. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's up with that. Hopefully it's recording right and you can come back and pick up on it later. But I can hear on my computer, but I don't know why you can only kind of hear. I'm not sure about that. Got my microphone turned all the way up. Check my audio one more time. Like I could, I'm seeing it. That is so weird. I'm just looking at it, like I'm looking at my audio up here. Now it's showing me that it's picking up, but it just cut out for no reason. I have no idea what that is. Oh, some days, I swear. That's connected. I don't know. I don't know why it keeps going in and out. But now I can hear myself again. Okay, all right, we'll keep on going. But Mindy, if you need me, girl, I'm here for you. Go ahead and send me a message. And anybody, honestly, if you are within the sound of my voice and you are struggling right now and you can't figure out exactly how to heal from this, if you're getting triggered, if you're getting stressed out, let me know. Send me a message. I will help you. I have no problem with that. And Mindy can attest. I can very quickly narrow in on what it is that's going on and give you some quick advice that will help you not to fall into the trap of being triggered. Okay, so I'm with you. Go ahead and send me a message if you are interested in talking with me. And I also have some spots coming up for an enchanted reconciliation call. Mindy, tell them about it. If you get on a call with me, you're going to feel better. Okay. And if Mindy can hear me, if everybody can hear me, I'm putting in the comments on Facebook and Love Coach Dasha and Love After Cheating. This is the link for an enchanted reconciliation call with me. It's a 45-minute call, absolutely free. You can talk to me. We can get a plan. If you go ahead and sign up for a call, at the end of that call, number one, you're going to feel better. You're going to be smiling by the end of the conversation with me. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel like, oh, it's not the end of the world. I actually can get to a happier place. You're gonna see it. You're gonna be able to know that it's real by the end of the conversation. And by the end of the conversation, we're gonna have at least 3 things for you to do, a path for you to walk, things that you can do right this second to start to help you with whatever is going on with the triggers, with the relationship itself, with communication. I will give you at least 3 things that you can do by the end of that conversation that are going to help you. So if you are interested, go ahead and click the link for an enchanted reconciliation call, or just put call in the comments if you want to get the link for an enchanted reconciliation call sent to you. Okay. All right. Mindy. Mindy said it's all better again. Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. Going on. Besides getting on a call with me, I definitely want you to do that. The last thing that we're always going to talk about every time we get together is I need you to stop asking all those questions. I promise you there is no healing in it. I know that everybody says that you should be able to ask whatever question you want, shouldn't you? And I don't disagree with that. You could ask whatever question you want. You are entitled. You can say whatever you want about this situation. However, I am going to warn you that that is and that automatic that I gotta ask this question. If I don't ask this question, it's just gonna drive me crazy. That is a trauma response. That is not healing. That is not your body and your brain trying to be on your side and trying to get you to heal. It is trying to discover the threat. It is trying to uncover every lie. It is trying to show you that this is not a safe person for you to be around. Look how he answers this question versus how he answered it before. It is your brain trying to keep you away from him, not trying to bring you back together. Okay? That is not what it's doing. Hi, Raul. Hi there. It is not helping you. It is not doing that when you keep asking the question. I know your brain will tell you, I need to know the answers to this question, and that's the only way that I can heal. It's lying to you. The same way that I told you that your brain will lie to you and say that nothing is ever good in your life, nothing has ever been happy, you've always been miserable, nothing is good for you. It will lie to you about the reasons for the questions too. What your brain is doing is taking your mate as a threat. It is saying that this person is a threat, and I got to learn everything that I can about this threat before this threat hurts me again. If you keep falling into that habit and doing that over and over and over again, your brain will never stop believing that he's a threat. You can't get close to somebody if you're constantly treating them like a threat. Now, all that being said, I do understand that it is it's a threat response. So your brain does it automatically and it's like an itch. Like your brain is like, I have to know. I have to know all of the answers to these questions. If I don't know the answers to these questions, I am not going to be able to be at peace. First of all, call your brain out on lying. But if you really need to ask a question, if it's itching in there and you want to ask a question, ask better questions. Try these. This is the and THEAND comes from the good people at the skin deep. And what this is the reconciliation one. This is the healing edition for your relationship. It gives you good, solid relationship building questions instead of threat processing questions. Okay. It tells you that, okay, this is somebody that I care about. I want to hear about what's going on with them, not just trying to assume that he's going to hurt me again and trying to figure out when that's going to happen. Okay. So I'll give you a few of these, couple of these questions. You only need like 2 or 3 of them to have a really good, decent conversation with the person that you love. Okay. You can get these on Amazon. They're about $30. Put THEAND at the beginning in the search bar. It'll pop right up. Okay, so what actions would earn your trust even more? Ooh, boy. What if you had asked him about regaining his trust? Oh, wouldn't that be an interesting thing? Wouldn't you like to know what would make him feel more trusting of you? I know it's like you're like, no, that doesn't even matter. That's not even fair. But you want to ask questions. Let's ask questions that are actually about building something instead of about tearing something down. So, what actions would earn your trust even more? He might get that question. It's a possibility, but you might get that question too. So, if you have to ask him that, what do you think he would say? What do you think he would say would build his trust up more? And is that the same thing? Do you have that in common? Is that something that you're like, well, yes, exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it. Why don't you do that? That's an interesting conversation to have. And that's not treating them like a threat, it's treating it like problem solving. Okay. This one says, what do you think scares me the most? Interesting question, right? Wouldn't you like to know that? Wouldn't you like to know what he thinks you're afraid of? Because he might come up with something you're like, oh, hell, I didn't realize I was afraid of that until you said something. He might notice something that you don't notice about yourself. So, what do you think scares me the most? And oh, interesting. What do you think I should let go of and why? I know what he's going to say. I know it could be about the cheating, but it might not be about the cheating. There might be something else completely that he's like, oh, yes, I really wish you would let this go. It seems to stress you out. I would much prefer you not have to deal with this one particular thing. You don't know what he's going to say. It might be the cheating. Yes, it might be that, but it might be something else too. So, what do you think I should let go of? And why? Excellent questions, right? Good questions, good, solid questions that you can ask one another to be able to reconnect and feel good about that reconnection. Okay. So, got any questions about that? Those are some of the practices. Those are the things that I teach my clients, the people that work with me on a day to day basis. That is what I'm constantly encouraging them to do. Do their deep breathing. Lord, please do your deep breathing. If you work with me, if you're one of my one on one clients, I will text you. I will send you texts 5 times a day at your specific times, and I will remind you to do your deep breathing. All right. Doing your journaling. I will remind you about that. You have to sit down and pay attention to your body and your brain to be able to even get through this trauma. Things happen automatically when you're traumatized. If you're not paying attention to what they are and actually studying that and doing something about it, it's just going to be an automatic reaction all the time. You're not going to have any control over yourself. And you want control over yourself, don't you? You should want all the control that you can get at this point. You had something horrific happen to you and it was completely out of your control. I want you to be doing all the things that you can possibly do to get back in control. Don't hand over any more control to this person who has fumbled your heart so badly that you are crying, that you are miserable. Don't hand it back to them just yet. You get yourself stable first, and then we can see if we can go ahead and offer up a little bit of our heart to hold, not to keep, not to totally take care of, but just to hold it sometimes, just to show that he's gonna cradle that heart and then give it back to you unbruised. Okay, that is what we are doing here. You cannot just automatically expect that whatever it is in your head that you think that he should be doing is gonna work. Okay, It does not matter what you think that he should be doing. If you have not gotten to the place where you can actually like center yourself, calm yourself down, he could be doing all the things. He could be doing everything right, quote unquote, right. And it's not going to touch you because you're traumatized, because there's a wall up between the two of you. I'm talking about slowly taking the wall down. Okay. Now, if you need to figure out exactly how to get on that path, get this wall down, I got resources. Okay. First things first, get a copy of the Dreams Formula. If you have not gotten it yet, put PATH, PATH in the comments. I will get you a copy. All right. Absolutely free. This is the path that I walk with all of my clients. This is deciding. Last month, in January, we were all about the decision, right? About making this decision to heal, to reconcile. I want this life with this person. This is the person that I'm choosing. I'm making that decision. Even though he messed up, I am still choosing what I want, not choosing based on him being messed up. Okay. I am choosing because this is what I want, not anything to do with him. Okay. R is for recognizing and then overcoming the fear speech that is going to happen inside your brain and the fear speech that you're going to get from outside too. It's not just you. If you go into other groups and stuff, that's why in my group, I do not let people say, oh, you should just leave him. That's not the solution in our group. But in every other group, that's what everybody's saying. Well, you should just leave him. Even if it's a group for women who are staying, they will still be like, oh, you should just leave. You should go. You shouldn't tolerate this. You shouldn't put up with him. Um, and that's what the fear speech inside your own head is saying too. When you get into that echo chamber of the thoughts that are in your head being repeated back to you from other people, it makes it seem like that's the only choice you have. I do not want you to feel like you don't have choices. You have choices. And you don't have to listen to what their fear is telling your fear. You can tell your fear to shut the hell up and sit down and not listen to their fear and then move forward the way that you want to move forward with your bravery intact, with your decision to hold on to. Okay. You don't have to listen to the fear from inside or from outside. Okay. E is for evaluating the why, figuring out why this happened. And you know exactly why this happened, probably better than he does. I do the three S's: sick, sad, stupid. Okay. And stupid's not what you think it is. Sick is some kind of illness, mental or physical. Whatever goes on in this body, that's a physical illness, even if it's mental illness. Okay. So when we are sick, we do not do our best work. We are not our best. We are not doing the things that we know we're supposed to do because we're sick. We are ill. We are weak in that time. Okay. There is hormones, all that types of stuff can affect your body and that affects your behavior. If you're not watching out for it, if you're not paying attention, it can happen. Then there is sad. Sad is grief. Sad is a loss of some kind. And it doesn't have to be something that you totally understand. With men, it could be, oh, he lost his job and that made him lose his sense of identity. And he just put it on another woman to show him who he is. Because if I don't have a job, well, I can get women though. So I'm still worth something as a man. That crazy stuff that they think. It's some kind of grief that they're experiencing. um Feeling like not where they're supposed to be for their life, for their particular age. They're like, I was supposed to be here and I'm not there yet and I'm not doing what I need to do. Or it could be a very literal loss. It could be, if you spend your entire lifetime with somebody, you're going to go through them losing their parents, losing people who are close to them, losing their friends and family. And God forbid if you have the loss of a child together, you are both experiencing that loss. Even if you don't experience it and behave in the exact same ways, it's still a loss for them too. So it just depends. There are so many ways that you can experience grief. If there's something that he lost, there is grief attached to that, even if it doesn't seem like it should be that big a deal to you. Okay. And then there is stupid. Stupid is all the stupid things we're told about being together in relationships and the stupid things that men are told about being men. And oh, well, you have to have money. And if you have money, then you'll have women, and that's how you be a man. Okay, well, if you don't have money, you can have lots of women, and that'll replace that. And then you're a man if you do that. Seeing mom cheat on dad, dad cheat on mom. If mom cheated on dad, then that was, I'm never going to be like that. I am not going to be the type of man who gets cheated on. I'll be the cheater. I won't be that type. And then if dad cheated on mom, it's identifying yourself with your father, feeling like you got to be like the role model that you have. It's all stupid. It's all stupid, but it's the way that human beings learn and grow. So, things that happen to us when we are younger affect our behavior. So, if there's a lot of things that he's been told that were just absolutely wrong about being in a relationship, that's what he's got to work with. So, he feels like I'm doing the best I can because that's all the information that he has. Okay. So, all those things can be reasons, sick, sad, stupid. If you can evaluate the why and then come with some compassion for that why, that's pain. Hurt people hurt people. If he is hurting you, he's in a place where he's hurting. We don't just hurt people we love because we feel like it, because we're in a great mood and we want to hurt people we love. That's not the way it usually works. When we are hurting, we end up lashing out and hurting the people that are around us, the people that we love the most, even though that's not our intention, because that pain seeps out and makes you act in ways that are not conducive to happy, healthy relationships. Okay. So we got to just figure out how to have a little compassion for that. He's hurting. There was a reason he did something so dumb. There had to be some pain there. You're not going to cheat just because you feel like it and you feel like that's a good idea. It had to have been some pain that made you say, oh, it's a good idea to cheat on my mate. Yeah, that's an idea that comes straight from pain. That's not one of those ideas that occurs to you when you're feeling good about yourself. Right? A is allowing the healing to happen. Okay, now that you made the decision and you face the fears and you know why he did it, you got to actually allow yourself to heal. You got to actually let the wall down, give the love that you want to give, and receive love back. You have to stop talking about it all the time. You have to stop crying about it all the time and telling him how miserable he's made you. And you have to actually focus on the good parts of the relationship and doing good things together, having fun together, reconnecting and loving on one another instead of focusing on the negativity. If we can do that consistently, we can show our brains that, hey, look, we like being around this person. He makes us feel good. When we're around him, we have fun, we are happy, we are smiling, we are laughing. We're not constantly thinking about what terrible things he did. Yes, he did terrible things. Yes, he did. However, we do great things together. We have a wonderful time together. It's not all about the bad. And if we can start to show our brains that, then our bodies will start to feel a little bit more safe with them, and then we can get closer and closer. Okay. And M is managing those future feelings. You're going to be triggered. Okay. Just like Mindy said, she's been triggered for the last few weeks. She's well past, she has been healed. She's been doing good for, I don't think we've even worked together for like a year, have we, Mindy? I think it's been more than a year now since I've worked with her, but the triggers will pop up on you. The triggers are automatically developed when you have the trauma. So you may not uncover a trigger as your first healing. It might be a year later. It might be 2 years later that all of a sudden this thing just hits you and you're like, oh, I'm super triggered about that. Where did that even come from? It can happen like that. It was created when the cheating happened, but you didn't uncover it until you started doing some healing, started working towards feeling good again, and then your brain got that uncovered, and then you're all of a sudden you're like, oh, that really does hurt. I didn't know that still hurt. Your triggers are to show you where you haven't healed yet. Okay, that's all we're trying to do is just figure out where we haven't healed when we are dealing with the triggers. So it's something that had reminded you of the pain back then. So what we've got to do is a couple of things. We got to know what our bodies feel like when we're triggered. First thing, if we know what our bodies feel like when we're triggered, we know that we're triggered. And then we can start looking around for, okay, well, what just happened there? Okay, well, what happened today? What happened yesterday? What was going on that got me bubbling and got that trigger to the surface? What was happening there? Right, that's a great thing to write down in your journal. Okay, that is a wonderful thing to be writing down in your journal, is what happened leading up to a trigger and like the 24 hours before it, because you will be simmering with a trigger before you even realize that you are been triggered. So go back at least 24 hours and try and come up with the reason for why you're feeling triggered now. And then once we figure out how our bodies feel and then where the trigger came from, we can do something about it. Now, don't do what the trigger tells you to do. All right. I'm going to tell you that all the time, especially if you work with me. Don't do what the trigger tells you to do. The fear and the pain that are coming from that trigger are going to give you the wrong thing to do. It's going to tell you something to back away. It's going to tell you something to put up another wall. It is not telling you something to get closer. Okay. Do not trust the triggers. Okay. Whatever the trigger says to do the exact opposite of what the trigger says, and you will be on the healing path. If you do what the trigger says to do, you will end up hurting more every time. I promise you, that is the hurting path, is doing what the triggers say. So if the trigger says you need to go through his phone, okay, now we got to get all anxious about trying to figure out when we can get to his phone without him seeing. And now we got to be listening out for him to come back, because if he finds you on his phone, then you look like a crazy person because everything's been fine, but now you're all going through his phone. And then if you don't find anything on the phone, you've got to tell your brain, hey, look, I looked and it is not there. I am not going to continue to do this, because when you don't find anything, your brain will be like, oh, well, he just erased it this time. You just got to wait a couple more weeks and go back through it again. So then it's getting you to do the same action over and over and over again. Okay. So we have got to ignore what the triggers tell us to do. When we start doing what they say, it always leads us to more pain every single time. Okay. And the last thing, the very last thing on the dreams formula that you can do that is going to help you to heal all on your own, okay, is find some support. Seek some support for this healing, for this in particular. Don't seek somebody who will give you a hard time about the fact that you want to stay with this person. You don't need that in your life. All right. You've already made your decision. You know that you want to stay with this person. We're not even asking for that. We are asking for some support from somebody who will remind you that that's your decision, who will say, hey, look, no, you already decided that you love him and you want to be with him. Let's go in that direction. You're acting like somebody who's hurting, not somebody who's healing. Let's come away from that behavior and let's think of something else to do. Let's remind ourselves of this decision that we've made and let's stick with the decision. You need that person. You need the person who is going to say, hey, look, I know that the fear speech is loud in your head and it's telling you awful things. And I know it feels like everything is awful right now, but it's not. That is not real. It is just fear talking to you. It is not a reality. You can have much, much better than what your brain is telling you right now. Don't believe that. That's who you need. You need the person who will say to you, look, I know he's an idiot. I know he messed up. I know he hurt you so bad. But we do know that his mom died and his dog died and he had lost his job and he was going through a terrible loss in and of his entire life. Things were going on with him. Remember to be compassionate for that. Yes, he hurt you, but he was in the midst of hurting too. Try to remember your compassion for that. You love this person. If you were going through all that, you would want him to be compassionate about how badly you did with it, right? Because we're not always going to do well with loss and pain. We're just not. We're people. We mess up when we're hurt and we have experienced a loss. So you need the person who's going to remind you that, hey, if you were in his shoes, you would want some compassion. Let's try and develop a little bit of compassion. Let's talk about how things were going wrong for him and he can make better decisions now because he's in a little bit better place. He's not hurting like he was. Okay. You need the person who will tell you, hey, you got all the walls up. You are just, every time you say something about him, you are being kind of negative and you're not really like letting him in. And I haven't heard you say anything about y'all having sex in weeks. And you seem to be like putting the wall up to him. Are you letting him in? Are you choosing to be close? What's going on with that? It looks like you're still, get away from me. You're not really embracing him. What's happening with that? You need somebody to remind you to allow yourself to heal, to open up again. And you need somebody who can remind you about your triggers, who knows the triggers that you go through, who knows what's going on inside your body, who can be like, hey, is your heart racing right now? You're acting like you're a little triggered right now. You're kind of phased out. Your face is scrunched up. You look like you might be a little triggered right now. Is something happening? What's going on inside your body? Is your head hurting? Is it doing that throb thing on the side? Are your palms sweaty? Let me see your hands. Let me hold your hands. Your palms are getting all sweaty. You're getting a little anxious. What is happening? All right. You need somebody to talk you through that, because when your body is reacting like that, it feels super real. It feels like everything that your body is saying is absolutely true. You need somebody to ground you and be like, no, that's just, fear's talking. That's just your body responding automatically. That is not what's happening right now. You're not in any danger. I'm here with you. I can see. I got your back. You're not in any danger. Okay? That is what you need. That's the support that you need. You need somebody who is going to encourage you in the healing process, not to keep on giving you more and more reasons to hurt, not just saying, oh yeah, you're right, and you shouldn't trust him, and you should never go ahead and let him into your life again, and you should make a decision and be with somebody else. You don't need that person. You need the person who is going to be on the side of you healing this relationship. And if you do not have that person, you have not stumbled upon that person, I can be that person for you. Get on a call, CALL, put it in the comments. Get on an enchanted reconciliation call with me and see what it's like to have good support. Have somebody who is on your side. I believe you. I think that if you feel like this is your person and you don't want to let go of this relationship, I think you're absolutely right. I think that you are grown enough to make decisions for your own life that are good for you. And if you have decided that this is a person that is good for you, I will help you to remember that. I will help remind you that that is the choice that you are making, and then guide you along the healing path, keeping in mind that you are choosing this person, and that's all that really counts. That's really all that counts, honestly. Other people will tell you awful things about being in a relationship after cheating, and no, you'll never be able to trust them again, and it will never be the same. We're not going for the same, okay? And we're not going for 100% trust in somebody either. If you were doing that before, that was incorrect. Trusting somebody else 100% is nuts. Do you trust yourself 100%? We need more realistic trust. If somebody's got a B in trust, somebody's got like an 80% in trust, that's a lot of damn trust, okay? That is not saying that they're just not trustworthy because you don't trust them 100%. That is 80 whole percent of trust. So if you can say, okay, yeah, they got a B plus, they're like 85%. I trust them on most things. I can trust them on a lot. then that is a more realistic way of trusting somebody. Trusting somebody 100% is putting them up on a pedestal. It's believing that, oh, they could never do anything wrong. I could do something wrong, but they could never do anything wrong. And that's setting yourself up for failure and setting them up to fall off that damn pedestal. So we are going to go about this in a much more reasonable, measured way. We don't need 100% trust in somebody to be trusting of them. Okay. You probably don't trust yourself 100%. Do you trust yourself 100%? Even I can't trust myself 100%. I will procrastinate. Okay. The ADHD will come to the surface and make me mess up and not do what I'm supposed to do. Okay. So I know I can't trust myself 100%. So it's insane of me to feel like I should be able to trust another whole human being 100%. Okay. That's ridiculous. We're not doing that. Okay. We're learning how to go about this, letting down the walls in realistic ways so you can understand that this is a human being and he will mess up, but it is not throwing you into danger territory every time he messes up. You need to be able to trust in yourself, in your own thoughts, in your own feelings, in order to be stable if somebody shows you that you can't trust them. If you're not trusting yourself, you're going to feel completely lost if you lose the person that you were trusting over yourself. Okay? So I want you to understand that I get it. I understand that people will tell you that you're so wrong, and I do not believe that you're wrong. I think that you know the best for your life and for your relationship. And if you believe that this is the person and you believe that this is the relationship, this is the person that you would be sad if you weren't with them anymore, this is the person that you want to connect with, you want to have in your life for the rest of your life, I don't think you're wrong. I think that you're absolutely correct. I think that you're on the right path, and I am perfectly willing to help you get good and healed so you can prove yourself right. I proved myself right. This is 18 years. I have proven to myself that my instinct about my life and the love that I had for this person was absolutely correct. Even when other people were telling me, "Oh, you shouldn't be with him. You shouldn't marry him. You should kick him to the curb because he cheated and he's not a good person." All of that was said, but I knew better. Okay? I believe you know better. All right? So I want to help you figure out that you know better. I don't want you to be doubtful about your love and your understanding of this relationship anymore. Yes, bad things can happen in relationships. That is an entire lifetime together. You're going to have bad stuff happen. Okay? You're going to need to be forgiven. Okay, absolutely. That is absolutely going to happen. There are going to be times that you need to be forgiven. There are going to be times that he needs to be forgiven. And if you found that person that you are willing to forgive, that's deep. That's real love. That's a good thing that you found. It's not bad that you want to forgive and you want to trust and you want to open yourself up to them again. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not wrong for that. That is a beautiful, magical thing, and you should be able to have that type of breathtaking love every day of your life. So I am on your side. If you believe this is the right person for you, I believe that you are correct, and I want to help you to heal this relationship so you can be with the person that you love. Okay? All right. Any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything going on? Anything you want to ask me? I guess my sound got better for the rest of this live. Good, good. All right. Don't see any questions here, there, or YouTube. All right. So the last of the practices, let me go over that one more time. And put practices in the comments if you want a copy of the practices. But the last of the practices is a simple one, but it's pretty complex when you're feeling bad about yourself. Is to do your affirmations. Have you been doing your affirmations? Have you been saying lovely things about your lovely self? If not, why not? Why are you not doing that? Why are you not telling yourself wonderful things about you? When you've been traumatized, your brain starts to think that everything is bad and everything includes you. It will tell you that you are silly, you're stupid, you're naive, you're a doormat. It will tell you all sorts of awful things about you as you are trying to heal from this trauma. So we can't keep listening to that. We can't listen to that nonsense. That's awful. We don't want to do that. We want to listen to good things about ourselves. So that's why we need to be doing our affirmations. We need to train our brains who are automatically going towards the negative because of trauma. That we don't need to go in that direction. We need to bring it back to the middle. We need to say good things about ourselves and believe good things about ourselves. Okay. So I got affirmation cards here. I got these from Five Below. But if you would like affirmations just for healing and reconciling after infidelity, I have a whole entire course of those. You will get those in your email every single day. Put affirmation in the comments if you'd like my affirmations just for healing and reconciling after infidelity. Okay. So, this is an excellent one though. Today, I trust myself. Today, I know that I will make the right decisions to maintain a happy and healthy life. Isn't that what I've been telling you? Isn't that what we've been talking about? You got to trust yourself. Before you trust him, before you trust anything else, you need to trust you. You need to trust your judgment. You need to trust what you believe. You need to trust in what you want. And you can do that. Everything else will fall into line. But trying to trust other people before you trust yourself is not going to do you any justice. So today, I trust myself. Today, I know that I will make the right decisions to maintain a happy and healthy life. That's an excellent affirmation. That is a beautiful one that I want you to carry with you this week. Today, I trust myself. Look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, in the camera, whichever one, and tell yourself, today, I trust myself. And say it with meaning, say it with authority, say it like you really do mean it and you know it to be true, because then your brain has a recording of you saying this wonderful thing about yourself, that you believe in yourself so well, you trust yourself so much. I've got a recording of you saying that. We can play that at any time. Anytime you are doubting yourself, you can replay that in your head and say, wait, no. I trust myself. Today, I trust myself. I trust myself to do the right things, to make the right decisions, to give myself the best possible life. I trust myself. When you do that and you're consistent with it, you convince your brain that it is true. And then your brain starts behaving as if you trust yourself. And so then it's a whole lot easier to make good decisions. Okay. All right. So do your affirmations, doggone it. Get on that. Do your deep breathing, do your journaling, do your gratitude practice. Stop asking all those questions and do your affirmations. Those are the five. Those are the practices that I teach my clients every single solitary day. And I want you to start doing them now. If you start doing these things, you will start to feel more in control of your life and your trauma after this infidelity. Okay. All right. That is about it. That's all I got for you today. I just want you to know I love you and I'm so proud of you. Um, it's hard to choose love when you're in pain, to choose forgiving when you're absolutely correct to be hurt. It is hard to do that. And I am so glad to know women like you. I'm so honored to know women who know themselves and make their own paths, even though other people will try and give them a hard time about it. I love that about you. And I love the fact that you are choosing unconditional love. That's a big thing. This was the condition. For most people, this is the condition that they're talking about when they're like, I don't know if I believe in unconditional love. This is usually the thing. Cheating on you is the thing that will make you be like, I don't know if I really want to work this out with this person. But you have been cheated on and you are still looking for unconditional love. You are still leaning in that direction. And I'm so, so proud of you for that. We need more people like that in the world. We need more people who would choose love over fear on a day-to-day basis. We need that. I think more than anything in the whole wide world, that's what we need is people who would choose love. So you are a woman who chooses love, and I absolutely love you for it. Okay. All right, that's all I got for you today. Mwah. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I will be back again next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, what you call it? Valentine's Day is coming up. Valentine's Day is coming, and I just want to give you a quick bit of advice. Ask for what you want. Okay. Do not wait for him to just give you something and then you're disappointed. If there's something that you want for Valentine's Day, say something now and give him a chance to actually do the thing that you really, really want instead of whatever he comes up with. You'll be happier. He'll be happier. You'll have a good day on Saturday. And tomorrow's Friday the 13th. So it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a lucky day for you. Watch. It's February 13th, Friday the 13th. It's going to be a good day for you. Check it out and see. All right. All right, y'all. I'll be back again next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. I'll talk to you then. Bye.